Please welcome our dignitaries. Board President, John I. Norman. Board Clerk, Willie Hamilton. Board Member, Trika Ojeda. Board Member, Deborah Rex. Board Member, Jasmine Rubio. San Jacinto High School Student Board Member, Anaya Crouch. Our Superintendent, Diane Perez. Assistant Superintendent of Business Services, Seth Herron. Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services, John Roach. Assistant Superintendent of Personnel Services, Sherry Smith. Representing the Soboba Band of Luiseño Indians, Soboba Tribal Council Vice Chairman Isaiah Vivenco. Soboba Tribal Council Secretary Monica Herrera. Soboba Tribal Council Treasurer Kelly Hurtado. Soboba Tribal Council Sergeant at Arms Rose Salgado. From the City of San Jacinto, Mayor Russ Utz. Council Member Crystal Ruiz. Council Member Alfonso Ledesma. Council Member Joel Lopez. And our San Jacinto High School administrative team. Our principal, Courtney Hall. Assistant Principal, Dr. Rose Henderson. Assistant Principal, Steve Simpson. Dean of Students, Sheila Miller. Please welcome our faculty guest speaker, teacher Matthew Coram. We are also proud to welcome from Riverside County Office of Education, Mrs. Catalina Cifuentes. Tonight, we are also proud to include our San Jacinto High School teaching and counseling staff. We would also like to send a special welcome to our friends and family watching and supporting from the gymnasium. San Jacinto High School would like to welcome our special guests from Estadio Elementary, escorted by their principal, Dr. Sonia Scott, representing the class of 2031. Ladies and gentlemen, the graduating class of 2019.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the presentation of colors, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance and the National Anthem. Gentlemen, please remove your caps. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing until the colors are retired. Guests, you may be seated.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, faculty, teachers, and most especially our graduating seniors, the class of 2019. My name is Cynthia Lara, and I am your ASB president. I am honored to speak in front of all of you tonight. I would like to begin by giving a warm welcome to our guests, President John Norman, board members, Superintendent Perez, and cabinet members. Before I go further, I would like to take this moment to acknowledge the people who have helped me throughout my journey in high school. Thank you, God, for blessing me with everything and all of us. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for supporting me in all that I do. A special thanks to my sister, Marissa, who got me to where I needed to be and continues to be someone I can count on. Lastly, thank you to all of you who had made all 4 years of high school possible. Some of you may feel relieved to finally be here or even scared to move further. Some of you are going to the workforce, military, community college, or university. I know getting here has not been easy. The school year may have been tough at times, but still you thrived beyond your capabilities. When I was running for ASB president, I had doubts about not only whether I had what it took to run a successful campaign, but also whether I would have success within the school. So I made sure I worked hard throughout the year. I showed that I have what it takes to be a leader and continue to excel, and so will you. You may have stayed up until 3 in the morning finishing an essay, and then coming to school with only 3 hours of sleep. You did everything you could to catch up on homework. You did what needed to be done to get the good grades and then some, like joining sports and clubs. Even if you weren't that involved with extracurriculars, you still had other responsibilities. Many of you had to be adults at home and help take care of your families. You did things like drop off siblings at school and then managed to get yourself to school. Your success involves sacrifices that got you here today. We have accomplished so much as a whole and individually this year. We are the first class to have a senior sunrise and senior sunset. Our football team had one heck of a season, even making it to CIF. The girls' track and field team made league champs for the first time since 2008, and some of those athletes also went to CIF. Christina Williams and Marley Bagor helped get approval to get our CAPS record for the first time ever. Natalie Zamora, Nancy Romo, and Rodrigo Villa worked hard to become the top 3 in our class. And we'll all accomplish so much more in the future. We're considered a very competitive class, which has shown with our success. After high school, I urge you to keep that competitive mindset to get you to the end game. You'll need to continue to challenge yourselves and work harder than ever to create a beautiful and better future for yourselves and others. For that, I am proud to be part of the San Jacinto Senior Class of 2019. Thank you. And now here is our proud principal, Ms. Hall.
Good evening. When preparing for what I would say this evening, I struggled to find my words. How can I adequately express what I feel right now, speaking to my first graduating class of my principal career? The truth is that in the few minutes that I have, there are no words that can fully describe the pride and the immense gratitude that I have had in serving as your principal. With nearly 90% of you attending a 2- or 4-year college in the fall, serving in our nation's military, attending a trade school, or joining the workforce, you will leave here tonight on a path all your own. Whatever path you choose, it is my hope that it will keep you connected to your roots and where you come from while pursuing interests and passions that you never knew you had. One thing that I have learned since coming to SJ 5 years ago is that the pride in the traditions and sense of community is not exclusive to those who have been here for generations. It is permeating and runs deep. It is my hope that you take that pride with you, pride in where you come from, pride in where you are today, and pride in where you will be tomorrow. Over the last 4 years together, we have celebrated successes, cried over losses, learned from our failures, and on some occasions have had to agree to disagree. So for someone that doesn't yet have children of my own, it sure does feel like I'll be watching my own walk across this stage tonight. Thank you, parents, for sharing your children with us, for allowing the San Jacinto High School staff to know them and learn from them. We are all better because of them. And thank you, class of 2019. You have helped me to grow more than I ever thought possible, and I am overwhelmed by by how much I have learned from you. Class of 2019, it has truly been an honor. Next, I'd like to introduce this evening's keynote speaker. She has served public education for 20 years as a high school English teacher, counselor, director, and deputy superintendent for the California Department of Education. She has returned home in Riverside County, where she is currently serving as the executive director of college and career readiness for the Riverside County Office of Education. Catalina Cifuentes has focused her work around all students graduating from high school well prepared for college and the workforce. She is a first-generation college graduate, former avid student, and most of all, a champion for the future of our students. Please welcome Catalina Cifuentes.
Thank you so much, Principal Hall. Thank you so much for having me. I'd like to first start off by thanking your superintendent, Mrs. Perez, because she invited me here and said, Catalina, can you come talk to our seniors? And I said, me? And she said, yes, they're you. First in their family, daughter of immigrants, inspiring educator to change lives. They're you. So I want to thank also your school board members, your school counselors, your teachers, and the San Jacinto staff here today. We wouldn't be here without them, so you definitely want to thank them. And also to the parents, guardians, family members, friends here tonight, you're a part of this, so please give a round of applause to your familia, to your friends. Tell them thank you. You wouldn't be here without them. So I wanted to talk to you tonight about just two messages, something of inspiration and some wisdom as you head off, some of you to the military, some of you to college. I hope tonight you realize and truly understand the power of education and what education can do and how it can change your life. And it's something that can never be taken away from you. You can lose your car, you can lose your home, you can not control the family and friends in your environment, you can't control their decisions, but the one thing you can control is your education, and you did that here tonight. Education can provide so many opportunities. There's so much power in your education. Education for me, it eliminated poverty out of my life. It eliminated poverty out of my life. It allowed me to choose where I want to live, choose where I want to work, and give a life to my two daughters that I did not get growing up. And that's what today's about, is whether you're going to college or going to military, this is just the beginning of your journey and what you can do with education and the power it can to secure your family and your future. So a little bit of my story and the message I want and the word I don't want you to forget tonight is resiliency. You are resilient. You're here. You made it. And the story of my life was not easy. I grew up with my mom, an immigrant from El Salvador, and my father, we got some Salvadoreños in the house, and my father from Mexico. And, okay. And they both came here with nothing but a dream of something more. So I was blessed to be and fortunate to be born in this country and to take advantage of everything available to me. But growing up was not easy. I grew up cleaning houses with my mom. And since a young age, I was probably as little as some of the students we saw. I would go with my mom, and I was one of the students that didn't care for summer vacation because I had to go clean houses all summer with my mom. And maybe some days I got McDonald's on Friday. So that was how we made it. And we were a family, and I didn't really understand how poor I was until I got older and how hard it was. But I always, we'd clean these beautiful houses, and I'd say, one day I'm gonna have one of these houses. And I realized how I was going to get there, and it was education. So my family was extremely supportive, but after third or fourth grade, they couldn't help me anymore. I was on my own. I was the one doing my science fair projects on their own, the one that, struggled and had to take geometry twice because I had no one to help me with math at home. But I kept going, and I kept preparing, and I kept challenging myself. And then AVID came along. And how I got into AVID is my mom used to clean the house of one of the directors for the school district I went to. And my mom said, I need some help with my daughter. I want her to go to college, but I don't know how. And that's how I got into the AVID program. So education is powerful in what you can do and how it can change your family and your life. And throughout the process, I kept reminding myself, you're resilient, you got this, you can do this. And I want you to remember that because you're gonna have some challenging times. And you have to tell yourself, I'm resilient, I got this. So one quality all professional people, all successful people have in common is resiliency, the ability to take a challenge, get through it, and say, I got this. And then there was times when school was hard, college was hard, and I wanted to give up. And I kept remembering, it wasn't as bad as when I was a little girl, and my dad would get laid off, and we would have dinner, and I remember counting how many things on the table there was, because I was afraid, are we gonna go hungry, because my papa's not working. So it wasn't as bad as that. I could do this paper, I got this. So I was thinking about all the challenges, and one of the first challenges, I was talking to my mom last night, and I said, Mom, we're remembering when I first went to college, and my college journey was a little different. I wanted to go away to school, but my dad said, you don't leave the house until you get married. And I said, but I can't have a boyfriend, Papi. Well, I don't know, that's your fault. That's your problem. Tu sabrás, he would say. That's your deal. But I said, no, I wanted to go to school. So I ended up going to college against my dad's will. I ended up going, one day he pulled out of the driveway. I know, your dads are gonna be mad at me up here. I ended up packing my stuff with my mom, and she said, Mija, let's go, you're going. I said, Dad's gonna be, she goes, it's okay, you're gonna go. And I went, and I graduated, and became a teacher, and here I am today. So one of the first challenges after I graduated that I dealt with was I didn't realize, so the first was a lesson of wisdom, resiliency. The second is, you don't get your financial aid check for 30 days until you start school, okay? So be prepared to buy your books. I didn't know that. I was the first in my family, and I didn't know. So here I was, Cal State Long Beach, ready to go, enrolled, classes, gonna move in, and where's my financial aid to buy my books? Back then, $300 was a lot of money. So my mom and I remember that story, and she cleaned a few more houses, and I borrowed some books, and I made it through until my financial aid check came. But I said to my mom, I said, Mom, wouldn't it be awesome if I could do something for all the seniors here tonight? Now, I will get there someday where I could do something for all of you, but tonight, 3 of you will be getting a $500 book scholarship to help pay for your first set of books, okay? So this is coming from my mom who's an immigrant who raised 4 kids, who cleaned houses until the last child left, and then went back to school herself and saw the power of education, and she became a real estate agent. This is from my sister, who left middle school and promoted with a 1.7 GPA, barely finished middle school, barely promoted, went on to high school. She only got into Abbott thanks to me. They said, we shouldn't let you in, but we're gonna let you in because of your big sister. She's now an attorney. She's a lawyer here in Riverside County. So when we discussed, how are we gonna pick these 3 students? And I said, Mama, I said, I believe in all of them, so it's gonna be random. So if you look under your chairs, 3 of you have a scholarship, so we went random. So look under your chair, see if you have an envelope under there. Who has the envelope? Lift it up, stand up if you got an envelope. It's a big envelope. Yes, there's one right there. There's 2 more, there's 2 more. We got one more. It's under a chair. We'll find it. Did we find it? Okay, we'll find it, but it's, all right, this is a message that all of you are bright, brilliant, smart. You can change the world. Not everyone, all of us have the same opportunities, but we believe in you, I believe in you, and you all have so much potential, and you inspired me. I told Superintendent Perez, I said, I want to come back one year and give something to every single graduate. So I'm going to work on it. Thank you. So I want to go ahead and leave you with a quote. I am so fortunate because of education that I get to do the job that I love, that I get to work with amazing administrators and school counselors and students and families. And there's a quote that always inspires me that I want to share with you tonight. It's from Cesar Chavez. And the quote says, once social change begins, it cannot be reversed. You cannot uneducate the person who has learned to read. You cannot humiliate the person who feels pride. You cannot oppress the people who are not afraid anymore. And that's my message to you. Do not be afraid. I'm so proud. Oh, we found her. All right, so I leave you with the congratulations, San Jacinto, class of 2019. Go out and change the world and never forget, you got this.
broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. Won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. Cut me down. Gonna set the fire, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I've meant to be. This is here I come. I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. This is me. Strongest words wanna calm me down. I'm gonna send a flight, I'm gonna drown them out. This is brave, this is bruised, this is who I'm meant to be. This is me. This is me.
Good evening, everyone. Ladies, gentlemen, and Mr. Jackson, friends, family, my fellow classmates, my name is Rodrigo Villa, and it's an honor and a pleasure to be your student speaker for the graduating class of 2019. All right, now I know what you're thinking. Who's this moron up on stage? Seriously, this is the guy who they got to do the speech? Well, at least I can get some sleep for the first time in 4 years. Well, I'm going to level with you guys. I'm just up here trying to see how far I can get through the speech before security comes and throws me off stage. Anyways, I'd like to start by telling you all a little bit about myself. I was born in Hemet, California, and moved here to San Jacinto in the 1st grade. I've lived here since then, so to say that I grew up in San Jacinto would be an understatement, and I have no hesitation in calling this place my home. I attended Deanne's Elementary, shout out to Andres Morales and Ryan Carlisle. North Mountain Middle School, shout out to Miss Brown and Mrs. Leland. And finally, miraculously, I ended up here at this amazing high school where I can honestly say I've lived the best 4 years of my pre-adult life. Okay, here's where the relatable high school story comes in. Me, when I'm not serving detention for excessive tardies or graffiti tagging Mr. Jackson's whiteboards, I can be found with my head stuck in a calculus textbook, trying to make sense of the hieroglyphs that make the class of 2000's valedictorian, Mr. Brandt, look like a wizard. I wasn't always this way, though. I remember being that happy-go-lucky freshman who was at the same time filled with wonder and excitement by a seemingly enormous campus of education and self-discovery. By sophomore year, I got my act together, or at least enough to cover up the fact that I had not the slightest clue what I was doing. By junior year, I basically had everything figured out, or so I thought. See, life was a bit simpler back then. I wasn't at all like my senior friends, who had to fill out college applications and scholarship applications, and the FAFSA, whatever that is. And then the script changed to where now I'm the senior, and an entirely new horizon has opened up. One filled with stress and astonishment, confusion and happiness, and an overall sense of excitement for what the future holds, feeling able to take on whatever the world throws at me on the road to achieving my dreams. Now I can probably say I've learned a lot of lessons here at SJ. Some I learned myself, some were given to me, and some I learned the hard way. I'd like to share a little 3-word phrase that was once bestowed upon me by my hero, best friend, sister, and last year's salutatorian, Guadalupe Botello. Never give up. But what does that mean exactly? To me, it means pushing forward through adversity, through frustration, through pain. It's understanding and accepting that life isn't fair, but that it's beautiful and worth living. And there were hard days. And just because we made it through doesn't mean we made it through unscathed. Everyone has struggles to overcome, whether that's with family, friends, relationships, AP and state tests, the CASP. The list goes on. But what's important through all of that is seeing the light at the end of the tunnel and knowing that it will get better. And there's something better just waiting for you to take action, put in the work, and achieve. I remember fondly, one very late and stressful night, I felt like the world was working against me. I had a ton of homework and projects due the next day. I'd been going through some things in my personal life, and I didn't know where my life was going. I'd forgotten what I was striving for. The taste of success was no longer with me, and I was left feeling like an empty shell. Why me, I would tell myself. Why do I have to do all this work for seemingly nothing? I'd forgotten the reason I was doing it, to gain a better future for myself. The one that my parents immigrated to this country for. The one that would make everyone who ever believed in me proud. Frustrated and on the verge of tears, I decided to march straight out of my room into the dark and foreboding hallway when it just so happened that a certain older sibling had just walked out of her own room after hours of doing her own homework. I looked at her, tired but strong. I could not fathom how she had the resilience to go on, even through the darkest hour of the night. I begged her for an answer as to why it seemed like I was constantly being pushed to my very limits. Then she gave me a little insight, a little clarity as to why I was chosen to be part of this grueling process. She told me, God gives his hardest battles to his strongest soldiers. The hard days came, and they passed, and they came to pass. But because I remembered that I was doing this for something greater, that I deserved something greater, and that I was meant for something greater, I never gave up. I know we all have those days where we can't find a reason in the world to go on, but I assure you, your pain and hard work will be rewarded. On days such as this one, we can look back and marvel on all we've accomplished over the last 4 years. And we can do likewise on the day we achieve our dreams, attain our careers, and begin to enjoy the fruits of our labor. Or perhaps even on our last days, where we can look back and see all we've accomplished. A life well lived, because we, as Frank Sinatra would say, we did what we had to do and saw it through without exemption. And remember, we did it our way. And for that, we should all be extremely proud of ourselves. Don't let the darkness of the midnight hour cause you to forget the bright and comforting morning coming shortly after, but rather look up in the dead of night to see the stars shining above you. As historian Nancy Romo once told me, if you only walk on sunny days, you'll never reach your destination. And I will admit, inevitably, on the pathway to success, you will have doubters, you'll have detractors, and people who might not have the best in mind for you. But you just gotta keep facing forward, don't look back in anger, and show them who you really are. I remember one instance in which I had someone come up and tell me, you'll never make anything out of yourself. You're nothing but a failure, and you'll never make it through high school. To which I replied, Mr. Thomas, what are you talking about? I graduate tomorrow. Look at me now, Mr. Thomas. Look, the point is, brush off the doubters, because as Mr. Jackson once told me, haters gonna hate, potatoes gonna potate. You know, there's a lot of things I'm gonna miss here at SJ. Getting to see all my wonderful friends who could turn even the most mundane situation into a memorable adventure and future inside joke, and to make a great day even better. Hi, Ronald. Getting to TA for Mr. Brent and having amazing conversations about everything from math and science to religion. Walking into Jackson's every morning and being told to staple papers together for the next class period. Yeah, that was fun. Pep rallies, homecoming, prom, Friday school detention. All fond memories. As the band Green Day once put it, for what it's worth, it was worth all the while. And you know, for a while, I was afraid of going up. I was scared of getting old because I'm only good at being young. Eventually, I came to the realization that it's okay to have fears about the future. Fear is just a friend who's misunderstood. Because if you're afraid, that means you care. That you have something to lose, and something worth fighting for. For me, it's been, how am I going to keep in touch with all my wonderful friends? Did I peak in high school? And how am I going to do in college as I enter this so-called real world that the adults keep telling me about? Okay, whatever you say, adults. Ooh, scary world out there. Yes, it's a tough world. And I may not be able to predict the future like Mr. Brandt. He's also psychic, by the way. But I know we're going to go out, do great things, and turn the so-called real world into our world. And yes, it's going to be a long, difficult, and scary process. But we got to keep moving forward. The story doesn't end here. In fact, quite the contrary is true. This was just the beginning. As the band Semisonic put it, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. The proof of this lies in the fact that we're about to head into what seemed so far away just a few years ago. But look at us now. We made it. We made it through 4 years in the blink of an eye. Where did the time go? Where do we go from here? Well, the only thing I can say is, go where your dreams take you. As Madame Esquire told me in the last days of French class, go out, explore new things, meet new people, take advantage of all that life has to offer you. And above all else, never settle. In your life, in your career, whatever it is. Because you were meant for something greater. You've already worked too hard to just accept what life is willing to give you. Also, never forget your roots. Remember, you're from San Jacinto. And you know what they say about SJ? If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Or maybe that was New York. Regardless, never give up, keep grinding, and don't stop until you achieve your dreams. Now I gotta go. I got like 3 essays due at midnight. But before I leave, I wish you all the best of luck, and I hope to see you all again someday. We did it, class of 2019. We did it. Thank you. Now I'd like to introduce our Teacher of the Year and guest speaker, Mr. Quorum.
Thank you, class of 2019. Your invitation is truly an honor. When I got the invitation, I went online to find out what kinds of things I'm supposed to say. They say I should offer you guys some advice about the world, about the future, about the keys to success. I'm not sure about some of those elements, but I'm going to share some knowledge that I've gained. I know first that I probably ought to figure out a way to say goodbye to you all. How does one put into words how we, the staff, feel at graduation? When you're older, 4 years goes by far too quickly and feels like a really short amount of time. But when we're older, we forget that 4 years can feel like a dragon's age to you. I think it's because adolescence is a time of such dramatic transition which isn't quite finished yet. Take a moment and picture the person you were in August of your freshman year. Imagine what you were like. Now seriously, think about how much you've changed over that time. Think about how ridiculous, petty, dramatic, whatever you were then. Now if you look back and think you were really cool and really had it together as a freshman, you're probably not really being honest with yourself. If you're not sure how much you've changed and grown over that time, go ask a teacher you had when you were a freshman. Sometimes it's hard to see how much we change because it's happening to us. The outside perspective makes it clear. We saw you then. We knew you were ridiculous. We also knew that this day was coming. We knew that the next 4 years of your life would be immensely significant in forming the young men and women that you've become today. Young men and women that I can genuinely say I'm proud of. I have to take a moment to talk to my IB language and literature crew. I want you all to know that I am thankful for you guys, each and every one of you. A 2-year course is a unique opportunity. It gives us the opportunity to build a classroom community where you guys can be fearless learners. These past 2 years have been incredible. Every time we had a class discussion, you guys impressed me. You opened my eyes to see the world in new and interesting ways all the time. I want to thank you for that. Honestly, you guys teach me as much as I teach you, and it's really difficult to say goodbye to you. In IB class, we learned that fear equals thinking plus time. When we think about things that we dread, it's a human tendency to imagine the worst possible outcomes. We rarely consider the possibility that things will turn out well. I think what we really fear is the unknown. And you're getting ready to step into the big unknown. Sometimes coming to the end of a part of life can feel like stepping up to a cliff. Because we can't see into the future, it's like staring into darkness. It can be stressful thinking about it. Maybe you're stressing about finding a job. Maybe you're worried about whether or not you're ready for college. Maybe you're not sure if you've chosen the right path. I've got good news and bad news for you guys. The bad news is there's a 100% chance that some, if not most of you, have chosen the wrong path already. I know because I've been there. At my high school graduation, somebody had told me that I would be where I am right now, an English teacher in San Jacinto, giving a speech to the graduating class of 2019. I'd have thought that that person was absolutely butt crap crazy insane. I was on my way to DePaul University's business school. that was definitely not the right path. In less than a year, I was on my way to film school at Columbia College in Chicago. By the time I graduated, I knew that was the wrong path too. It took me 6 years out of high school to find myself on almost the right path, studying history and teaching at Michigan State. Even then, there were times that I was unsure and when I questioned the path that I was on. But what's the good news? The good news is that it's pretty much almost never too late to try another path. The reality is that our lives, in our lives, it's increasingly likely that there are going to be multiple right and wrong paths. So we need to be prepared to change course as needed. The even better news is that it's all worth it. All of it. The detours and false starts led me to Michigan State, where I met my amazing wife, who I swear gets more beautiful every year, which led me to some of the most beautiful things I've ever witnessed, the births of my children. It's absolutely beautiful, the kind of beautiful that makes you tear up. I can't recommend it highly enough. I guess what I'm trying to say is that this journey, while it will have its share of wrong turns and flat tires, leads us to these beautiful, unexpected places. I know that it's absolutely crazy for anybody to expect you guys at age 18, plus or minus, to have any idea what your life will be like next week, let alone have any idea of what career you want. Unfortunately, there are going to be a lot of people asking you that over the next few months. Heck, even the rest of your life. I'm still not sure what I want to do when I grow up. There's days when I'm convinced I should be an astronaut. The days of going straight into a workplace where you will spend 30 plus years in the job and transition into retirement are, for the most part, behind us. The average person now has 10 different jobs by the time they're 40 years old. 10. That number's expected to grow. How many are you guys going to have? 12, 15? When I first read about this trend, I thought that it likely meant that the number of those jobs would be just different jobs in the same field. But we live in a time of rapid change. My brother will be turning 39 this summer. He's had a wide array of jobs. He's been a lifeguard, a school librarian, the personal assistant to the head of Rotary International, worked for a Washington, D.C. think tank, developed websites for a solar power company, and currently works on a digital video archive for WGBH Boston. They're the ones who brought us Arthur, that trove of dank memes. If there's something that I've learned from his experience, it's that we need to be open to a wide variety of new experiences, to be open to changing gears entirely from one career to the next. It's our education that prepares us to do this. I don't think that people take enough time to really think about the purpose of education. When thinking about this, we often fall into one of two traps. The first one is that we think that the purpose of education is to get a job. While that is indeed part of our goal, it seems to miss the bigger picture, or at least it ignores the experience of having 10 to 12 jobs by the time we're 40. The second trap is one that many teachers and students fall into all the time, and it's one we need to remind ourselves about. We think that education is about the content. We trick ourselves into believing that it's the facts, the figures, even the skills. We convince ourselves that it's important to remember names and dates, the atomic weight of carbon, all kinds of information that really, in 10 years, we won't remember 85, 90% of it. Even though I will probably never forget Avogadro's number, 6.02 times 10 to the 28th, I can honestly say I haven't used that since high school. So what's the purpose of all this? It's not about the content, it's not about getting a job. What could it be? It's about learning how to think and learning how to learn. We take a chemistry class not to learn how to balance equations, but to learn how to think like a chemist. We take history not to remember the significance of the year 1066, but to think like an historian. Take that with you in your future learning. The content is less important than the thinking. With a cell phone, we have all the information in the world at our fingertips. We can look up all the content we need, but if we don't have the right frames for thinking about it, that knowledge is utterly useless. The ideal student is like one of those superheroes who absorbs the powers of other superheroes. It's much more slow motion process, but you see how the teacher thinks and you absorb some of that teacher's methods of thinking. We try on those ways of thinking, and some fits us well, some don't. The ones that really fit influence our frames through which we experience the world. I know a lot of my own thinking has been shaped by my teachers. Deborah Balmer, my high school English teacher, Professor Dmitriev, History, Michigan State, Professor Richard Kroll, literary criticism at UCI, just to name a select few that I notice all the time. Technology is growing exponentially. Faster computers, artificial intelligence, self-driving cars, things we can't even imagine. We don't know how these things will revolutionize society. We do know that we need to be prepared for jobs that haven't even been thought of yet. We as teachers should aspire to be superheroes, modeling our brands of thinking, our powers for you, our students. You guys would ideally absorb our powers and make them your own, blend them together in new ways, and go out and find those paths that will help you achieve success however you define it. This is how you prepare for those jobs that haven't even been invented yet. Let's talk about superheroes. I believe in superheroes. Let's start with Superman. To be honest, Superman's a little boring. We all know that the villain's bullets will bounce off his chest, that he'll sock the bad guy in the mouth, and he will, of course, save Lois Lane. Think about the heroes that we find more interesting. Batman, Spider-Man, Jessica Jones, Black Panther. All of them are flawed. All of them fail. The victories are sweeter because of the value of their failures. Bruce Wayne can't love anyone properly, not even his own son. Gwen Stacy dies and the guilt haunts Peter Parker. Jessica Jones suffers from PTSD. T'Challa values Wakanda and its safety, sometimes too much, and maybe deep down feels doubt that he could be wrong and that Killmonger might be right. Even Clark Kent's an outsider who struggles with alienation. These heroes' flaws and failures make them compelling characters because they reflect and amplify many of our own struggles. They succeed despite their flaws. Now, why does any of this actually matter? Because honestly, more often than we would like to admit, the world can feel like Gotham is on fire, the Joker is running amok, Scarecrow has released fear toxin throughout the city, Bane has broken Batman's back, and we pray that Superman will come and save us. Superman's not coming. If we sit here waiting for Superman, Gotham will be nothing but ashes. So what do? We must become the heroes. Research published in Scientific American has shown that just seeing a poster of Superman increases the likelihood that people will behave in altruistic ways. We are more likely to help others when we think about or even see superhero images. I want to challenge each and every one of you to find your inner superhero. I know that the world feels like it's gone crazy, like everyone is only out for themselves, and like anyone who tries to help others is a chump. But it won't change if we succumb to our own weaknesses. If we only understand our strength, we can effect huge changes. Often we hope for real-world versions of Superman to solve those big problems. We hope for a president, for Elon Musk, for Martin Luther King, for somebody to save us from this. We forget that these are people just like us. They're not Superman. They're humans who fail just like we do. Alice Walker wrote, "The most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any." Class of 2019, you guys have power. People will try to tell you that your voice doesn't matter. They'll tell you that you're too young. They will tell you that you'll understand when you're older. Don't listen to them. They're also the ones who tell you that nothing will change. They'll tell you that this is the best things can be. They'll make jokes about young people and Tide Pods or avocado toast to undermine you. I have seen your power. I taught in this district for 14 years. I've seen a lot of students come and go. The class of 2019 definitely stands out. I have seen you guys push through adversity. I have seen incredible resilience from you. I have seen acts of kindness and caring from you that give me hope. Seriously, I have seen moments where you reflect the best of humanity, where you show flashes of Superman. You guys are superheroes. So wear your superhero t-shirt under your work clothes. It's a reminder. It's a reminder to channel your inner superhero daily. Be kind to each other, but especially to those who need it. Accept your failures, learn from them, rise to the challenge, and be the hero that Gotham needs. I believe in you.
San Jacinto Unified School District Board of Trustees and Superintendent Diane Perez, as principal of San Jacinto High School, I certify to you that these students, as members of the graduating class of 2019, have met the graduation requirements set forth by our school district.
Before I accept your certification of these graduates, class of 2019, when I came to SJ USD in 2004, you were 3 years old. Some of you were in our preschools. In fact, 155 of you sitting here today started kindergarten at San Jacinto Unified. Like Aldir Alvarez, Lene Rhodes, and Daniel Mata. Flash forward to today, and you continue to be remarkable. Javier Cuevas, despite your injury that ended your high school sports career, you continue to show up and support your teammates at every practice and every match. You, Javier, have the heart of a tiger. Good luck at UC San Diego. Peyton McCartney, you have set the bar high in all aspects of your educational and athletic career, breaking records at SJ. Get ready, Cal State San Bernardino. Here she comes. Anaya Crouch, you are wise beyond years, and you have brought us all together. You lead by example, and Berkeley is lucky to have you. Sanaya Golar, where that girl is. Your talent as a musician, actress, and photographer is only surpassed by your caring for others. Look out, San Diego State. Sky Griffin, you're a true social justice leader. You have bridged the school community by being the voice of your peers. You speak life into others. You will change the world. Faith McNeely, in spite of all the odds stacked up against you, you pushed and persevered like many of our students here today. You have found your voice and your passion. Good luck at UCR. You, as our ASB student president said earlier, you are wearing graduation caps because of one courageous and committed student, Christina Williams, soon to be at UCLA, who took time to advocate on your behalf. I've enjoyed watching you grow, and advocate for others. We know you deeply care. The top 40 students banners hang throughout the city of San Jacinto, signifying to the world, to our city, to our leaders that you are both college and career ready. You broke a record this year, $4.5 million awarded in scholarships and grants to this class. I'd like to leave you with a quote from one of my favorite all-time movies, from author Angie Thomas, The Hate You Give. Sometimes you can do everything right and things will still go wrong. The key is to never stop doing right. It has been my pleasure to serve you. And now, Mrs. Hall. Miss Hall, not yet. Soon, but not soon. As superintendent of the San Jacinto Unified School District, I accept your certification that these seniors have met all of the graduation course requirements set forth by the governing board of the San Jacinto Unified School District. And I grant them the honor of their diplomas tonight. Thank you, Mrs. Hall.
Will the Board of Trustees please join us on the stage for the presentation of diplomas?
Okay, so 3 are on this side, 3 are on this side. Kathleen was coming up.
Wait, what? The change. You changed it. So right here, and then go over there, right?
Do I grab them? No, we're good. Okay, sure.
Natalia Zamora Celedón. Rodrigo Villa. Nancy Romo. Valeria Isabel Araujo Figueroa.
Gadir Cedar. Julia Michelle Lundragan. Marjorie Andaya Briones. Faith Michelle McNeely.
Sergio Daniel Avina.
Rachel Farnham.
Catherine Oseguera.
Marley Page Bagor.
Javier Cuevas.
Peyton Ivana McCartney.
Gilbert Omar Garcia.
Michael Josh Baez.
Magnolia Rose Worthington.
Julie Melinda Moreno.
Jocelyn Abigail Cibrian.
Emily Elizabeth Quinoy.
Jocelyn Alejandra Costilla Araiza.
Jessica Diaz.
Sabrina Vilpando Perez.
Anaya Milan Crouch.
Andy Yasmin Limon.
Christina Marie Williams.
Lynette Blancas Ronquillo.
Sheila Gordon Fuentes.
Emily Damian Mesa.
Giselle Crespo.
Eli Dominguez.
Noel Wesley Elon.
Francine Numoa Yang.
Abraham de Luna Velasquez.
Dakota Lynn Mesa.
Joanna Gonzalez.
Michelle Clarita.
Justin Burge.
Brisa Lupita Sanchez.
Ruth Loza Maldonado.
Adrián Pérez Adame.
Allison Leland Adame.
Jimmy Aguilera.
Pedro Kevin Aguiniga Vasquez.
Isabela Ahumada.
Alexis Nicole Almada.
Jorge Albarrán.
Travis Albright.
Berenice Alcaraz.
Mohammed Alajil.
Angelina Luz de María Alpires.
Edith Guadalupe Aparicio.
Gabriela Almaraz.
Cynthia Monique Aragon.
Aldair Ulises Alvarez.
Joanna Araceli Arajo Bocardo.
Miguel Ángel Anaya Jr.
Giovanni Enrique Arce Fuentes.
Abel Frank Anguiano.
Danny Antonio Arciniega.
Joana Aparicio Cruz.
Vincent Damon Ader.
Leslie Marie Aranda.
Erica Aviles.
Mario Araujo Bocardo.
Priscilla Sofia Ayala.
Natalie Archundia.
Diana Balbuena.
Victoria Angelina Arevalo.
Ana Maria Barajas.
Eric Armenta Navarro.
Julieta Barrera Camargo.
Luis Avalos.
Jackie Bautista.
Brianna Ayala.
Savannah Monique Arias.
Edwin Ayala.
Alexis Beck.
Noel Orion Valderas.
Cassandra Renee Borio.
Precious China Ray Barcinas.
Austin Charles Brooker.
Daniel Barrios.
Kiana Lachey Brown.
Moses Nazaret Bellas.
Javier Bueno Gutierrez.
Alejandro Bojorquez Villegas.
Dylan Edward Butler.
David Flores Barraza.
Esmeralda Cabrera.
Tiffany Beltran.
Alondra Cabrera Ruiz.
Brandon Joseph Brown.
Saraí Shelley Calvillo.
Jeanette Marie Bryant.
Anthony Nicholas Caraza.
Gerardo Bugarin Herrera.
Thomas Ryan Carlisle.
Lisette Mariah Cabral.
Sebastián Ignacio Carmona.
Miguel Ángel Cachu.
Emmanuel Carrasco.
Delaney Alonia Denise Campbell.
A.B. Salvador Carrillo.
Rafael Matías Campos.
José Alexis Castrejón Núñez.
Elena Cantu Pirelli.
Mario Cervantes Jiménez.
Alyssa Marie Cardenas.
Zachary Chapman.
Rafael Carramán.
Odalis Alondra Chávez Luna.
Destiny Carrasco.
Michaela Dawn Christian.
Caitlin Cuevas.
Raúl Alberto Cisneros Rábago.
Kylie Marie Chesan.
James Coleman.
Alfonso Chavez.
Elisa Trinity Contreras.
Jacqueline Alexis Chi.
Fabian Moses Correa.
Isabel Cifuentes.
Yasmin Cortez Bucio.
Marlene Alejandra Collazo.
Alexis Cruz.
Diana Lisette Contreras.
Robert Wells Q. IV.
Eric Contreras.
Saúl Dávila.
Sandra Cortez.
Joel Delgado.
Michael Matthew Cox.
Eileen Michelle Deras.
Kevin Cruz Castillo.
Charles Darian Davis.
Elijah Marquis Daniels.
Abraham Diaz Ramos.
Suraya Carmen Davis.
Dylan Anthony Dominguez.
Alexis Janet de la Cruz.
Julio Cesar Driotis Esquivel.
Cristal Guadalupe Díaz.
Jagger Thomas Edelblatt.
Jerry Anthony Díaz.
Cindy Celeste Escamilla.
Josué Alberto Díaz.
Sofía Espinosa.
Brooke Marie Díaz Evans.
Vanessa Estrada.
Carolina Rose Downs.
Carolina Fabián.
Patricia Álvarez Dueñas.
Salma Ramadan Farag.
Ariana Jocelyn Elizalde.
Melissa Figueroa.
Stacy Escobar González.
Genevieve Yasmin Flores.
Atlantis Amoret Estrada.
Yesenia Francisco Talavera.
Jorge Octavio Euseda.
Jennifer Fuentes.
Kyle Blake Femi. Alberto Bernard Flores. Isis Flores Sebastián. Anthony Fuentes.
Alina Michelle Gallardo.
Jadlyn Arlene Galaviz.
Ángel Alfonso García.
Andrés García.
Jasmine García.
Efraín García.
Osmara Valeria García Arias.
Maritza García.
Alondra Garmendia.
Alexis Garmendia.
Reya Gaviria.
Kenya Alejandra Garza.
Sanaya Cameron Golar.
Araceli Francesca Georgopoulos.
Julian Jimenez Gomez.
Trent Jacob Glosser.
Christopher Theodore Gomez.
Liliana Gomez.
Caitlin Alexis Gomez.
Karen Isela Gomez.
Josaías Salomón Gómez Rodríguez.
Drake Gomez.
Ricardo González.
Jessica Marie González.
Angélica González.
Alejandro González.
Carlos Alberto González.
Benny José González.
Cristian Sebastián González Muñoz.
Francisco González.
Mariana González.
Trinity Ario González.
Leslie Granados Alcantar.
Vanessa González Toriz.
Annalise Grout.
Fauci Jaciel Gramajo Acosta.
Stephanie Guevara.
Sky Latier Griffin.
Jonathan Gurola Mejía.
Trinity Rose Guerrero.
Catalina Yvette Gutiérrez Lira.
Isabel Guizar.
Julan Retuta Haban.
Dulce Areli Gutiérrez.
Tiara Harris.
Jenny Gutiérrez González.
Zachary Wayne Haverkamp.
Alan Haka.
Antonio de Jesús Hernández.
Abraham Basil Hassan.
David Romeo Herrera.
Julian Helm.
Caleb Hervey.
Andrea Marisa Hernández.
Momin Elijah Hussein.
Ricardo Hernández Gómez. George Herrera.
Marieli de Jesús Hernández.
Zoe Alexis Howard.
Juan Manuel Ibáñez III.
Mariah Renee Hyder.
Isboset Ibarra.
Cruz Armando Ibarra.
Ty Joseph Jackson.
Jorge Isaac.
Julio Jauregui.
Emily Renee Jaimes.
Alexia Carmina Jimenez.
Marisol Jimenez.
Caleb Marcus Johnson.
Cedar Jimenez Jr.
Philip Michael Johnson.
Dorian Krillin Jones.
Aaron William Jordan.
Leticia Juarez.
Min Soo Kim.
Isaac Gono.
Dean John Estrada Laco.
Mayra Liliana Lamas.
Funmilola Inkuru Elizabeth Lani.
Cynthia Lara.
Caleb Joseph Larga Espada.
Jared Benjamin Leog.
Benilde Elizabeth Leca Obregón.
Gabriel Lejarza.
Ashley Rian Lemos.
Vincent Lambert.
Sonia Marlene León.
Salvador Leonel Leon Brito.
Christina Dominique Leslie.
Jennifer Leiva Villanueva.
Canyon D. Lindsay.
Angel Limon.
Christian Tyree Lombard.
Haley Lisette Llamas.
Cassandra Lopez.
Areli Isabel López.
Uriel Lopez.
David Isaiah López.
Dulce María López.
Destiny Desiree López.
Joshua Adam López.
Jonathan López.
Oscar Uriel López Alvarado.
Ángel Alejandro López Alvarado.
Denise Lorenzana.
Sebastián López Pérez.
Cassandra Lozano.
Javier Lozano.
Gabriel Cruz Luna Gutiérrez.
Isaías Marcelino Lugo.
Maggie Shu.
Antonio Cruz Luna.
Amaris Ariel Maldonado.
Jacob McCrae.
Italia Janae Manzanilla.
Dion Mays.
Efraín Marquez.
Tatiana Xavier Manning.
Eliana Martínez.
Jasmine Manso Venegas.
Mayra Martínez.
Brenda Alicia Márquez Delgado.
Ángel Adrián Martínez Jerónimo.
Jacqueline Martínez.
Daniel Mata.
Nayeli Martínez.
Matai Remeng Mauinoa.
Giselle Martínez Vizcaya.
Cameron Jordan McClellan.
Freddie Brian Matos.
Natalie Vanessa Medina.
Elizabeth Mariana Maynor.
Chelsea Giselle Mendez.
Alessa Meda Antolin.
Francisco Mendoza.
Dylan Anthony Mejia.
Cristian Mercado.
Corey Emil Mendez.
Serena Miller.
Irvin José Mendoza Trujillo.
Yaxeni Mojica.
Zachary Bell Miles.
Raúl Molina.
Terrence Paul Miller.
Efraín Mondragón.
Ashley Fernanda Molina.
Ariana Linda Montoya.
Oscar Ángel Molina.
Andrés Acosta Morales.
Samantha Montes.
Aileen Socorro Moreno.
Allison Nadine Morales.
Cecilia Mosqueda Pérez.
Moses Andrew Morales.
Joseph Muñiz.
Tiffany Yvette Morris.
Steven Davion Muñoz.
Mackay Mundy.
Jeremiah Lee Murphy.
Alexis Katia Munoz.
Jolynn Quinn No.
Paula Adriana Munoz.
Ariana Nicole Norman.
Dustin Wayne Myers.
America Giselle Núñez Hernández.
Isabella Monique Niebla.
Julian David Olmos.
Dominic Martín Núñez.
Lisbeth Ornelas Murillo.
Joseph Nathaniel Ochoa.
Mackenzie Jean Ortiz.
Miranda Omen.
Alejandra Ortuño.
Teresa Marie Ornelas. Oscar Daniel Orozco. Devin Ortega. Carlos Javier Ortiz.
Caleb Blake Owen.
Deja Nicole Outland.
Venus Yasmin Padilla.
John Osley.
Emily Amber Parga.
Melody Aline Palomares.
Natalie Margaret Parman.
Kanan Dwayne Parks.
Jacqueline Bass.
Brandon Elian Pavon.
Adam Joseph Pendergraft.
Annette Peraza.
Alexa Perez.
Rogelio Perales.
Charles Anthony Perez.
Analisa Anaí Pérez.
Maybelline Perez.
Jesús Manuel Pérez.
Anaya Michelle Peterson.
Alicia Pérez Rico.
Tanner Malone Fiffner.
Tim Pugh.
Nayeli Edith Plasencia.
Adam Avante Pia.
Cynthia Sarai Platt.
Lorena Plata.
Cassandra Ponce.
Nicholas Garrett Plante Jackson.
Jacinia Catherine Prush.
Julio Prado.
Luis Antonio Quintanilla Ramos.
Anthony Pulido Navarro.
Cheyenne Eris Quamina.
Bryce Allen Pratsensky.
Anthony Vasquez.
Lena Adriana Quiroz.
Abel Nicolás Ramírez.
Darlene Ramirez.
Christopher Daniel Ramos.
José Teodoro Rayas.
Jonathan Ramos.
Jonel Menguiro Reg.
Ryan Renee Reeves.
Bernardo Regla.
Mónica Alaní Regalado.
Andrew Rebecki.
Lene Rhodes.
Jarles Rivera.
Jesse Manuel Rincón.
Rihanna María Rivero.
Esteban Antonio Rivera.
Valerie Victoria Robles.
Mason Robles.
Kylie Renee Rokovitz.
Gemma Rocha Armenta.
Jessica Lisbeth Rodriguez.
Fernando Rodriguez.
Vincent Gabriel Rodriguez.
Lisette Rojas Aguilar.
Litzy Rojas Franco.
Adrián Romero.
Alisa Anaí Romero.
Hector Alfredo Romero.
Natalia Romero.
Gabriel Adán Benjamín Ron.
Sebastián Rosas.
Angie Rosales Becerra.
Bridget Betel Ruiz.
Oscar Jr. Rubalcaba.
Brenda Sánchez.
Brandon Sadusky.
Marisa Elan Sánchez.
Alberto Sainz.
Jessica Sánchez.
Brianna Anaí Salazar.
Joy Brandon Sánchez Cabañas.
Heriberto Sanchez.
Gilberto Santos.
Leslie Marina Sanchez.
Kiana Bautista Santos.
Ricky Javier Sanchez.
Robert Anthony Sawyer.
Esmeralda Sandoval Castillo.
Dean Martín Segundo García.
Isaiah Edwin Santos.
Angel Jesús Silva.
Fátima Gabriela Santoyo Regalado.
Rebeca Solís.
Jana Irene Scott.
Ángel Soriano Hernández.
Valerie Antoinette Cerna.
Carolina Soto.
Grace Sierra Smith.
Fátima Soto.
Sebastián Soriano.
Odalis Villegas.
Art Soto.
Shara Mary Stanley.
Shayla Lisbeth Soto.
Shayana Helen Semenet.
Derek Michael Spearman.
Andrew Tate.
Angelica Faith Steinheimer.
Kenry Grace Tom.
Patricia Tapia.
Samantha J. Torres.
DeAndre Taylor.
José Luis Torres Orozco.
Wayne Anthony Thomas.
Matthew Bradley Treviso.
Ángel Torres.
Jesús Javier Urias Ramírez.
Benjamín Elijah Toscano.
Joaquín Angel Valdés.
Vanessa Trujillo.
Valeria Valdominos.
Linda Merriweather Utz.
Devon Benningen.
Nicole Valdez Yacuta.
Sabrina Velasco.
Brian Valenzuela Martin.
Stephanie Belderrain.
Marco Antonio Velázquez.
Jaylene Vera.
Veronica Matias Ventura.
Andrew Vilches.
Alyssa Lisette Verduzco.
Michelle Villanueva.
Dario Villalpando.
Raúl James Villarroel López.
Miguel Ángel Villarreal.
Catherine Grace Waring.
Alexei Velázquez.
Taryn and Marie Williams.
Edwin Sainz.
Alma Guadalupe Yáñez Martínez.
Jordan Michael Bober Woods.
Abigail Yocupicio.
Daniel Yepes.
Morgan Ariana Zaragoza.
Jasmine Lynn Young.
And Crystal Andrea Zul Alonso.
Marco Uciel Zarate. Daniel Ibarra Cermeño. Miguel Zúñiga.
Graduates, please stand. Graduates, please hold your tassels. Graduates, please turn your tassels.
With the help and support from the Saboba Foundation, the Saboba Band of Luiseño Indians, and the Ward family, please join us in the traditional lighting of the S by facing the North Mountain.
Although Paris always favors the white and the green, and the gentle sons of Hemet under white and gold are seen, we will hold our colors' splendor, nor honor shall they lack, while SJ stands defender of the orange and the black.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce to you the graduating class of 2019. Parents, you may meet your graduates at the practice field to the rear of the stadium.